So we are asking together, I am not putting the question to you, but together we are investigating and we come upon this question, whether it is possible in our relationship with all its reactions and subtleties, with its sensual responses, whether there is a possibility of not remembering. That is it necessary to explain further? Suppose I am married and my wife bullies me, flatters me, encourages me, and so on, so on, so on. It is our daily education that is responsible for this remembrance. Remembrance of that irritation, remembrance of that encouragement, right? Remembrance of that depression which she or the other person feels and lives in that depression, therefore it feels separated. Follow? This recording is going on all the time. And we are asking psychologically whether it is possible not to record, but only record that which is absolutely necessary. The brain records because it is part of, it is necessary. In what direction? That is, it must record all the things it may learn mathematically. If I am to be an engineer, I must record all the mathematics, the pressures, and so on, so on. I must record. If I am to be a physicist, I must record all the previous physicians and what they have said. If I am to learn to drive a car, I must record, and so on. But we are asking whether it is necessary to psychologically, inwardly, to record in our relationship at all. Right? This remembrance of things past is that love. Oh. When I say to my wife, I love you, is that a remembrance of all the things we have been through together. Remembrance. The incidents, the travail, the troubles, the struggles, which have all been recorded, stored in the brain. And when I say I love my wife, is that remembrance actual love? You understand my question? So, is it possible to be free of not to record at all? please don't wait for an answer from the speaker, whether it is possible or not, but let us together find out. That is, it is only possible not to record when there is complete attention. Right, I'll show you. I don't know why we want explanations. Why our brains are not swift enough to capture, have an insight into this whole thing immediately. Why we cannot see this thing, the truth of all this, and let that truth operate and therefore cleanse the slate to it, to have a mind, a brain that is not recording at all psychologically. But as most human beings are rather sluggish, have rather like to live in their old patterns, in their particular habit of thought. Anything new they reject, because much better to live with the known rather than with the known. In the known there is safety. At least we think there is safety. We think there is security in the known. So we keep repeating, walking, struggling within that field of the known. And to discover together an observation without the whole process of machinery of memory operating. Now, how am I? You have put that question to me, and we have put that question to you. Is it possible in our relationship with each other, intimate or not, is it possible not to create an image about each other? Because that image, the remembrance of things past, which is the image, divides people. It's not only the image, but if I'm ambitious, competing, trying to become chief executive or psychologically something or other, and my wife is also doing something else equally in other directions, how can we have a relationship? You understand my question? This is actually what is going on in the modern world. The man and the woman, each is seeking his own particular career, right? His own, their own ambitions, separate ambitions, greed, envy, success, identification. And perhaps they meet in the bed, and they call that relationship. So, observing all this in one's daily life, one inevitably asks, is there a relationship which is not actually based on this?